It's Wednesday, April 16th, 2008. This is Variant Edition. Welcome to Variant Edition, your source for comic book news and culture. I'm Lewis. Variant Edition is the first weekly video podcast about comics and comic culture. We started way back in February 2006, and we're still dedicated to bringing you the best in everything that is related to comics. We usually do two kinds of episodes. A Tuesday episode, where we bring you all the comic info that you need to know to step into your comic book shop on that Wednesday, and a longer half-hour episode with reviews, interviews, and other fun stuff. Well, the New York Comic Con is this weekend, so we're going to do a combo episode again. We still got a rundown of this week's comics and first looks, but we also got some reviews of comics from last week too, plus a stats review. So up first, here's a look at the comics that you can expect to find in shops starting today. After the rundown, I'll be back with our pick of the week. So that's a look at what's out this week. But our pick of the week? Well, we might be risking being labeled as Brubaker fanboys, but it's Captain America number 37. Last year, Ed Brubaker perpetrated one of the biggest shocks ever in the Marvel Universe. He killed Captain America. Well, Crossbones had the shot to kill him, but it was actually Sharon Carter who did him in the end. His great love. But Mr. Brubaker was writing it, and for a year, the Marvel Universe has mourned his loss. But just a few issues ago, we got a new Captain America, Cap's former sidekick to pick up the shield. And we've been told repeatedly that Steve Rogers is dead. Dead. Well, look at number 36's last page, and guess what? Issue 37 has an even bigger shock. This is a must-read book.
Alright, so it's me and Lewis on the screen, and that could only mean one thing, that we're quitting the show, and the show is over. Sorry, guys. Time to shut off. No, I'm kidding. It means first looks. First looks, very important.
Very important.
Because we get to show you what's coming out, and what you might want to buy.
And what you might not want to buy, which is always a good thing because you have money for other stuff, like more books.
Yeah. All right, so we got X Factor. I took a look at X Factor. X Factor goes on with the whole arcade murder world, you know, like what's going on with X Factor. They're the last X team really out there right now. More on that later. But, you know, arcade's got people locked up and tied up. Monet St. Croix gets fried, not like with fire, with like electricity, and then she gets really pissed off and uses a robot head to find Arcade. And there's bombs in Mutant Town? But something more important happened. Something happened, or will happen shortly, that is a great read.
And what is that?
That would be X-Men Divided We Stand.
Ah, yes, book 1 of 2. This book is really good. This book kind of picks up the pieces of, I guess, Messiah Complex, even though it's been a while since Messiah Complex finished. Basically, you got a lot of the X students, a lot of the new X-Men from Academy X on, just looking for purpose in life now. There is no X Academy. There are no X teams. There's no reach out program. There's no AA. There's nothing for these kids.
There's no Little Mutant, Big Mutant programs.
No.
There's nothing.
No Big Brother.
Nothing left.
Nothing.
So what do? They go back to the world. And for some people, it's like, oh, great, Timmy's back. And for other people, it's sell the house and move. That kid is not living with us. As with the tale of Hellion.
Yeah.
What was great was, you know, you talked about it before. You know, there's a nice mix of artwork. There's great storytelling, different sections. You know, really focusing on per character. Any characters catch your fancy?
Definitely Cannonball. I like that. That was the first story, and he gets into this big bar fight with his sister. I guess she picks him up at the airport. And she's like, what was all that about after, the bar fight's over? And he's just like, I needed the vent. I needed a danger room. And she's like, what? He's like, are you serious? He's like, we're X-Men. He's like, without Danger Room, without any of this, we're just nobodies. We're just people who live. We live to be X-Men and die to be X-Men. That's it. And I was like, wow, that's the most powerfulest, like, X-Men quote I've ever heard in my life.
See, but I think the better quote was, I needed the Danger Room. You know, I just needed the Danger Room right now.
There.
You know, I'm going to start saying that when I get into a fight with somebody. And be like, I just need the Danger Room. But what we had, I thought the Lizard Boy story was, I don't know what his real name is, but I just keep referring to him as Lizard Boy from New X-Men. Gets sent back to his parents, and his dad drops a cup of coffee. And that noise, the cup breaking, kind of sets him off. And he's got his dad, like, pinned against the wall, and his big lizard fist is just cocked back, and he's like, I'm going to kill you and take your soul, type of thing. And then he's like, it's my dad. Crap, I'm not an X-Men anymore, you know, that sort of thing. So it's like, what do you do? Well, we run away, you know, like, he's gonna leave home because he doesn't fit in there, he doesn't fit in anywhere anymore.
It's a tough life for the X-Kids.
Yeah. And you took a look at Captain America.
Captain America number 37, guys. With the revelation of last issue, everyone is just pooping the pants right now, including myself. I went through a couple pairs of underwears. Big revelation last issue, bigger revelation this issue, but I don't know if they're going to pick up where it left. There's really not much I can say without spoiling it. Let's just say Sharon stumbles on a body that looks familiar.
I'll say it. Sharon stumbles on...
And this issue's great, too, because Brubaker's kind of taking a little bit of liberty with writing the Red Skull now. He's kind of going back to his 1970s ways of, I can't wait, we're going to take over this disgusting country and make it into my own image, and I'm wonderful. And Dr. Foss is like, you mean our image? And he's like, yes, our image. Gonna kill him later on. Don't worry. But great book. Please read this book. This book is only going to get better and better and better. But that's it for Captain America. Next book that we took a look at, what was it? Incredible Hercules. 117.
You read this one. I didn't read it.
I took a look at Hercules. You should start reading Hercules. There's a new artist on board, new colorist. Stefan Peru just passed away. He was a great colorist. He was coloring that book, and he's going to be sorely missed because that artwork on that book and the coloring was just sensational, and the dialogue with it was just great. But these new guys coming in are definitely living up to what he left behind with the original penciler. This story is very interesting. We're kind of throwing a curveball at the half human, half god. Is Hercules an actual Olympian, or is he an Eternal? What? And there's just kind of like a big loop of going around stories. If you're big on myths and your Greek culture and all that, this is a fun story to read because it's kind of like, wow, this is kind of like mistaken identity. Is this real? Is this false? Is this true? Great read. And there's a nice little nod at the end that's going to help with the Skrull Invasion tie-in books that they kind of like refer back.
Hercules is a Skrull.
No. Close to it, though. They refer back to an issue 300 of Thor. If you got that issue, go back and read that. Very big hint is what's going to happen in Incredible Hercules and in Secret Invasion. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for that. Great book. I love Incredible Hercules.
Okay, so Incredible Hercules is a read if you're reading Greek mythology. Captain America, a must-have. X-Men Deadly Genesis, definitely pick it up to get your X-Mutant there.
Not Deadly Genesis.
Not Deadly Genesis.
Divided We Stand.
Divided We Stand.
That was
I'm going to get
ago.
so much hate mail for that.
It's okay.
And X-Factor, if you're into X-Factor, pick it up. If not, don't bother. And remember, he loves you. So I've got a Bone 3-pack today from the Kucharik Brothers. It's we've got classic Iron Man here. We've got Iron Man 2020, and we've got a stealth Iron. Who stole the stealth Iron Man? No? Alright, fine. No one's fessing up to it. He was sweet. He was a very smooth Iron Man. He was all in a deep blue type of color and like almost navy. Amazing piece. Really smooth. Slightly different from classic Iron Man. Still really nice, though. So let's just focus on Iron Man and Iron Man 2020. Iron Man, everyone knows him, everyone loves him. Great bust here. What we've got is, you know, really good colors choices for Iron Man, which I know sounds kind of stupid because he always wears red and gold, but you gotta pick the right red and gold shades here, people, and they do a really nice job on this. The only problem I have is that there's a little bit of black hanging out through classic Iron Man, like a little bit much in the joints. I can deal with it. I like it. It kind of gives it a little more depth, but at the same time, I'm like, I would have painted it just a little bit better. Iron Man 2020, future Iron Man, as some might know, has giant things on his shoulders because he's from the future, and they look like ratchets because he's from the future. That's all I got on that. But again, an excellent choice in the gold and red, and just a really nice set there. I really wish I had the third Iron Man to show you guys, but it's missing. So, yeah, I would buy the 3-pack if you're an Iron Man fan. Just make sure no one steals your stealth.
All right, guys, this is your first review of the week right here. We got Kick-Ass issue 2, the biggest book to ever happen in comics since comic book paper. I don't know. Whatever. Mark Millar here. So we're picking up. This kid got the living crap beat out of him. He's in the hospital. I think everything's broken. I don't know how he's alive. And I kind of like this issue because it kind of like speeds through the whole recovery process. Like, yeah, my bone's mended. I don't have a healing factor. I just mended. And I'm back in school. And everything's okay now. And I just decide to keep doing this stupid superhero thing. But it's great because this book, we just can't, like, I can't reiterate enough how, like, true to life this is. This can, like, so close to, like, happening in real life that it is. And the artwork, real rough, real sketchy, but it fits the book because it's, like, you know, nitty-gritty real life. And Mark Millar's words are just, like, so dead on. Like, these is basically how kids either talked pretty close to today or kind of back in the day, but it's pretty dead on. But story-wise, he's back to kicking some butt. He takes on this group of, I love that panel, some crazy dude fighting some Puerto Ricans. Anybody? That's great. Some crazy dude fighting Puerto Ricans. It's like watching West Side Story, but better and more blood and, you know, less singing and dancing. So he starts beating up all these Puerto Rican guys. They're trying to jump this one kid. Meanwhile, he's taking on all these guys by himself, Daredevil style, with, you know, his little sticks, or more Nightwing-ish, with his little sticks hitting him in the face, whatever, blood splattering. And he's just turning to everybody. He's like, can we call the cops? Can we get some reinforcement here? And he just gets blindsided. And the whole issue is just an all-out brawl. And he comes out limping and all bloody. He basically looks like a regular human zombie, but just not dead. And it's just great. I love where this book is going. I can't see how they could turn it up any more another notch. I'm loving it every minute. Kick-Ass number 2. Please read it. Please buy it. Please love it. Mark Millar, you are a genius.
Hey guys, what's up? Dead of Night, I've been reading it, I've been loving it in issue 3. Not as good, but it's still funny as hell. Now, you have your 2 stories it had before, the introduction of Man-Thing, and this, like, demon chick who befriends Man-Thing. In the 3rd issue, you got these douchebags who are like, we've been searching these swamps looking for Man-Thing. And I think it's really funny, because movies these days are going back to the whole, like, Blair Witch video camera thing, and I think it's funny that even it goes into comics, a non-audiovisual kind of thing. But anyway, I digress. So these douchebags are in the swamps looking for this thing, and despite the fact that they're looking for a monster, they figure the best time to look for it is during the day, and at night you sleep. If you're looking for a monster, you go at night. That's just me nitpicking, but if you ever hunted a monster, you know it's nighttime that you gotta go hunting for it. Anyway, so they stumble into something stupid. There's, like, those swamp freaks left over from the 1st issue, like, you know, the ancestral people and all that. They're all, like, creeping around their tents and stuff. It's great. So they, like, kind of kidnap them while the one chick's off, and somebody shoots somebody. It's a big hodgepodge of, like, swamp mutants with stupid kids with a camcorder. And Man-Thing! And he shows up and saves the effing day. He, like, sets everybody aside, just looks at you. We're like, alright, we're gonna leave now. We'll leave you alone. Man-Thing's on your side. And that was honestly pretty much it. The stupidity of people with a camera in the swamps, the awesomeness of Man-Thing, and the lust that all swamp mutants have. I'm looking forward to issue 4.
Alright guys, next review we got right here, Titans issue 1. Now, if you read that Titans E special back, like 3, 4, 5 months ago, I don't know, too long ago, a bunch of Titans looked like they got offed. Didn't really. One got off. Thank God. Power Boy. Goodbye to you and that circular gay man breast thing. It's terrible. Power Boy's dead. Hawk and Dove are severely injured. Everybody else has been comatose, which is, you know, a good way to, you know, put characters on hold for about 10 years and you bring them back. DC style. And everybody else has just been gravely injured. Someone is out taking down former members of the Teen Titans from the 70s up through the 80s, or more like the Marvel Wolfman George Perez era. So Nightwing gets attacked in one of his secret lairs, which I think I think he's still in New York, right, or somewhere. That gets bombed. He's just baffled. He's like, no one knows about this. Why are we under attack? So it's good. A good chunk of the issue is spent on a quick attack, some Titans getting pretty close to being killed and, you know, captured or whatever, and it just wraps up at the end where it's just kind of like, all right, who's doing this? Who could it be? I can't think of anyone at the top of my mind. It's almost certain that you can think of it off the top of your head. It is And I'm just going to leave it like that. I don't want to spoil it. It's really good. I trust Judd Winnick writing this book because he's got a good grasp on Titans history, and given his whole team, like The Outsiders, I really love that run he had with Matthew Clark. So I trust the whole team dynamic to him. He knows what he's doing. All in all, this is going to be a fun book. It's going to be very nostalgic for those of you who read the Titans in the 80s, and something new for people who just started, watching Teen Titans on Cartoon Network, or just starting to get into Titan stuff now. There's a lot of rich legacy, a lot of rich history in this book, but it's going to be, chopped down and modernized in a very good way by Judd Winnick. So it's going to be really good. And Ian Churchill on pencils, yeah, give or take, yeah, there's some rough moments in there, but it's still, art-wise, still a good issue. And I just can't wait to see where this book goes. I love the Titans.
All right, The Goon, issue number 23. Now, I gave like a double dose review last time of like 2 issues. Anyway, The Goon currently is running at a pace that I really wasn't expecting from this series. Not doubting it, not insulting it. It's just when I first started reading The Goon, it's like, haha, awesome. Hit some dude in the face with a lead pipe. They're talking about having sex with an electric catfish woman. It was great. But now it's like, oh my god, like each page, there is like, oh, I remember that character. Oh, they brought him back from Chinatown. There's so much going on in The Goon right now. Like, I wouldn't advise this. Be like, oh, if you haven't read The Goon, pick it up. Can't do it. Cannot do it. Because there's too much going on. You got gypsies being overpowered by unspeakable evils. You got returning characters from books that you probably haven't read before. It's insane. But the biggest thing with this story is the whole comeback of Labrazio. And I still don't even know how the hell he's coming back. You had the one issue where the Goon thinks he sees him drive by in a car, which he did, but the Goon is in like such doubt because for all these years he's been living as Labrazio because he thought he killed him. No idea where it's going. All I know is this guy can pull a gypsy into like looking water. That takes a lot. To overpower a gypsy with her own magic, that's a lot. So you have no idea where he's come from. Apparently he's just like some evil that the gypsy has never seen before. And we're all doomed, apparently. How? Why? I don't know. But this issue's great. For that alone, and the fact that in the beginning, you have kids fighting over a fish for who gets the innards. The squeezins, or whatever the hell they called it. Just fish guts. But that's it. So yeah, Goon 23, amazing stuff. 24, 25, 26, and I'm pretty sure all the way down to like 35, if not 40. I'm seeing this story going. It's really picking up, and if you haven't been reading The Goon at all, definitely go back to the beginning, read it. You're gonna blow through them because it's amazing, and get your ass caught up to 23.
So again, we've got a little bit of a different variant edition for you.
Yeah, but don't worry, the shorter Tuesday episodes will be returning after the New York Comic Con.
Remember, that's this Friday through Sunday. See nycomiccon.com for more details.
Yeah, we'll be back next week with a Tuesday episode shot live at the con this weekend.
Head over to the Jacob Javits Center April 18th through the 20th and experience the largest pop culture event to take place on the East Coast.
Is this an ad for the Comic-Con, or are we going to try to wrap up the show?
Well, the con will be playing host to the top entertainment industry leaders, showcasing the latest and greatest in comics, graphic novels, anime, manga, video games, toys, movies, television, and more.
Hey, Mike, I see what you're getting at. I'll play along. Con organizers have already announced that Grant Morrison, Mike Mignola, Alex Ross, and Brian Hitch will be some of the guests of honor at this year's show. Stan Lee will be receiving the first ever New York Comic Legend Award at a special ceremony, and we've been told we can expect to see some previews of the Hulk and Spirit movies.
Check out nycomiccon.com for a full list of all the guests that are scheduled to appear, and if we haven't drilled it into you enough already, remember, we're going to be set up at the show in the podcast Thunderdome.
That's right, and many thanks to the New York Comic Con for sponsoring Variant Edition.
If you're going to be at the con, stop by our table in the podcast Thunderdome, or if you see us on the show floor, don't be shy and say hello.
Yep, for all the details and the latest con news, check out nycomiccon.com for more details.
And for any of you that may have been confused, the ad that we ran last week was done by It's Just Some Random Guy as a promo for the con.
Yeah, it was a pretty funny ad he did.
And here's another one.
Your panel starts in 5 minutes, sir.
Okay, now if they ask about the movie, as a superhero, life can be pretty hectic. And New York Comic Con is no exception. So I said, John, you're so money and you don't even know it. Whether I'm in front of a crowd... Now, who do I make it out to? Signing autographs? or just hanging out with colleagues, I can't afford to let my guard down.
I can't see.
Can I get a refill? Fortunately, I use the Stark Platinum card, so I can rest assured knowing my money is always safe. And it also does this. My life, my card. The Stark Platinum card, proud sponsor of the New York Comic Con, April 18th through 20th.
What's in your wallet? Dude, I said give me the freaking wallet!
It's only for 3 days. Buy your tickets now.
This is a pumpkin bomb, man! I will end you!
Nice. If you don't know, he did the I'm a Marvel, I'm a DC videos on YouTube. I think he's got a bunch new videos set to run after the con.
Yeah, and if you miss the news, you know, the thing I normally do, don't worry. We'll have the news back next week after the con, because normally a lot of publishers seem to be waiting for the con to release the big stuff, and we're just going to bring you everything you need to know.
But there was one big story that happened 2 weeks ago.
Ah, yes. That story, yes. A judge ruled in favor of Jerry Siegel's widow and daughter in their suit to reclaim Jerry Siegel's rights to the Superman material contained in Action Comics #1.
Yeah, but I don't want to get too worked up about it just yet. This has been brewing for years, and it's far from over. So if you're going around already saying you can't wait for Marvel to buy Superman from the Siegels, you really don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we're going to wait and just see how that turns out. But I wouldn't be surprised if a certain you talked about in the future, you know, Superhero History 101, did a whole little segment.
You never know. But we've got to go. Remember, we want to read more viewer mail on the show.
That's right, and not just Fallout Boy stuff either. We have adequately beaten that horse.
And we keep track of all of the comments on the website and YouTube, so keep letting us know what you think. You can send your hate mail or fan mail to hatemail@variantedition.com.
Yep, and speaking of YouTube, it's just one of the many places that you can find us online. We're also available at iTunes, Vio, or our cool high-res feed from Blip TV, with a broadcast quality video from Views.
Views stuff looks great on TV. But if you don't want to worry about remembering all those websites, there's just one that you need to know.
What was that one?
I believe it was variantedition.com, and it has all the links to everywhere you can watch us, or you can just watch us on the site.
Yeah, we've also got links to all of our old episodes, even the really, really bad ones from a few years ago, and those are really funny to watch.
Before we go, we'd like to also thank Classic Comics, our host for this and just about every episode.
Yep, Classic Comics in Rahway, New Jersey is still your friendly neighborhood comic shop.
Check out ClassicComics.com for more information about the shop, including how you can save up to 20% on your comics every week.
Yep, okay, so that's everything. We'll see you at the con.
Con!
And thank you for saving my ass.
Thank you for saving my ass and setting that back up.
What's that one?
I skipped ahead, went back, picked it up, then I came...
Then I, skipped a thing,
He
and
skipped
I
the thing,
wondered...